Hoosier fans, welcome back. Another edition of Under the Hood with Indiana football presented to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of IU football. Reminder to get out there and visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. I am Rhett Lewis, and we are fired up because it is the dawn of Big Ten play. Non-conference is in the rear view. Your 3-0 Hoosiers are ready to rep the rock, to pack the rock, to defend the rock against Illinois this weekend. And excited to have linebacker Isaiah Jones with us on this edition of Under the Hood. Isaiah, what's up, man? Excited to chat with you here a little bit. Man, give me a sense now that the first three games, the non-conference schedule is in the rear view. You've accomplished your goals. You're 3-0. How did those first three games kind of prepare you guys for what's coming up here as you start conference play against Illinois?
Yeah, so our coaches, they harp on, every game's important. So for us, we just use those games. We just want to improve from each game, take big steps, learn from each game, go game to game. And now that we're in the Big Ten play, I think a lot of guys are actually excited. We're excited to play guys in our weight class.
Yep.
We never overlook an opponent. So we're just excited for this week.
Yeah, no question. Where do you think this team's made the most progress through these first 3 weeks, especially on your side of the ball on the defense?
I think we got a lot of new guys. So just communication, meshing as a team. Last year I know a lot of the guys that came together. We had new guys, but they had played together. This
Right.
year, we've brought in some new transfers, brought in some new D linemen. Newer guys are having to step up in starting roles. So I think just meshing as a team and meshing as a defense, I think we're really starting to click.
Love that. Now, for you individually, I feel like you're getting kind of the most snaps consistently of your career right now. Obviously, played a bunch last year too, but you have an important role on this defense as one of the three linebackers that are getting the most snaps right now with Aiden Fisher and Relaja. Where do you feel like your game has kind of grown over these, let's say, the last year and a half?
Just being able to go out there and just X's and O's, know my assignment, do that. That was something I felt like I did last year, but just being able to be, maybe a voice, Fish is going to talk to the field side, but then if I got to make a call to the boundary, I'm talking to D'Lo, I'm talking to, Lewis Moore, just being able to, find myself, find my voice as a player and a leader on the team and just kind of just doing my job and just letting guys know that I can complete my job and have confidence in me.
That's the best way to go about it, certainly. And what kind of influence has Coach Haynes made on you since he came into this program and you guys started, spending so much time together as obviously in his D coordinator role, but also as your position coach with the linebackers?
Yeah, Coach Haynes, he's one of the best in the business. Ever since he came in, I feel like my game's done nothing but, go up and my stock's trending up. I think he's
Love that.
really, prepared me for a lot. He prepares you every week. He's always got a great game plan. And especially this week, I feel like we're really prepared. Practice is going well. Guys are communicating. But Coach Haynes, he really, brings the best out of guys and really, really good guy.
Yeah, well, you kind of touched on it right there. How would you describe, Isaiah, the focus of this team right now as you prepare for this matchup on Saturday against Illinois, a top 10 team coming into the Rock?
Yeah. I think the focus, has been there since we woke up Saturday morning. I think, we enjoyed our win Friday, but Saturday morning, I think everyone was kind of shifted to, Illinois. Like this is, we got number 9 coming in. They're coming to our place. It's everything we want, packed house. I think we've all been, waiting for this, chomping at the bit since Saturday morning.
I love to hear that. And with that in mind, like you look at this is going to be a physical matchup, right? I mean, any team that Brett Bielema coaches, they're a physical football team, and man, obviously that's part of your DNA as a linebacker, right? You love that, you welcome it, you're ready for it. You want to go out there and show it on Saturdays. You got another couple of guys that are out there with you, right? I mentioned them, Aiden Fisher, Elijah Hardy. How do you guys kind of work together? What's your room? What's your room like? Your meeting room when you guys are together? How do you guys kind of push each other to get better on a daily basis?
Yeah, so we're always, pushing each other, but I think just since we're all in the same room, we have Coach Haynes in there.
Yeah.
I feel like we are always on the same page. We're always, making checks for each other, and if one of them's going to make a check, the other two are making the check in their head, and they already, are on the same page, and then it just allows all three of us to play fast and just fly to the ball.
Yeah, and look, no question, Aiden Fisher, one of the best linebackers in the conference, if not the country, with what he did, last year and his first year at IU, and now this year. Like, what have you learned from a player like Fish, who's been around and certainly seen this defense for a long time, but gets out there and makes plays on a consistent basis?
Just his preparation, the way he approaches the game. I mean, and one of the things that I feel like has propelled me this year and helped me is, we come in, we'll be watching film on Sundays, and I'll, hey, Fish, whenever you go in, let me come with you. And
Love
so
that.
if he like gets us along with them, gets some, like Ro and I will come in and, we'll just want to watch film with him, see and pick his brain about how he sees it. Cause, like you said, he's been in the defense a while. He's been with Haynes, and, kind of just picking his brain about the insides of the
Yeah.
defense, being able to play fast.
Yeah, that play fast, man. Play physical, relentless, the whole thing. We hear Coach Stig say it, and you guys have certainly been that way so far on the defensive side of the ball. What impresses you about Illinois opponent this weekend?
They got some big guys up front, and they're going to come out. They're going to try to run the ball. So, I mean, we look forward to that. That's the Big Ten motto.
Yeah,
But they got some athletes, and so it's exciting. Go up against someone with some skill.
yeah, no question. Certainly got a running back out there that is a little larger than some you
Right,
typically see. 6'3", 240 pounds. Caden Fagan. Obviously, bring your buddies right when you when you want to make sure to get him down before he gets a full out of steam, right?
right, yeah, yeah. They've got a few guys back there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like we said, it's nameless, faceless opponents. No
love
opponent
that.
too big, no opponent too small. But I think we've all been excited for this game for a while. So.
No question. Ready to get the rock rocking for real and ready to see you guys on defense set the tone, man. Isaiah, it's been a pleasure to get to know you here a little bit. Look forward to seeing you at the Rock on Saturday, my friend. Let her rip, all right?
Awesome. Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Under the Hood with IU Football, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Get out there on Saturday night, pack the rock, defend the rock, and get loud for your Hoosiers. I'm Rhett Lewis. We'll catch you next time right here on Under the Hood.